Yeah, check 1 2, check 1 2. Is this mic on? Is this mic on? Hey, listen, man. It's the one and only trendsetter DJ Sense, and you're listening to CockTales. Dirty discussions with Kiki and Medina Monroe. Yeah.
Today's cocktail is called Pucker Up. The ingredients you need for a pucker up: 2 ounces of vanilla vodka, 2 ounces of watermelon pucker, and 2 ounces of lemonade. So here's how you're going to make a pucker up. You're going to add the vanilla vodka, the watermelon pucker, and the lemonade into a cocktail shaker filled with ice. Shake for about 5 to 10 seconds. In a glass, add ice and pour from the shaker. Garnish with a pink starburst and enjoy. And that is a pucker up. It's tasty.
It is.
And it really does taste like a pink starburst.
It really does. I'm going to have another sip.
Yes. Make sure you guys follow Your Tipsy Homegirl on Instagram and TikTok. She has become our personal bartender. And if you want her to become yours, hit her up at Your Tipsy Homegirl. She is a mobile bartending service. She can teach you about bartending. She's great for birthdays, girls' night, date night. If you just got a man that tricks off, just have him hire her and feel like a queen. You'll love it.
Okay, welcome back to Cocktails Dirty Discussions, you guys.
Hey, y'all.
I hope that you are getting ready for the live shows. We have one tomorrow night in Boston, City Winery. Get your tickets if you haven't already. They're available on the City Winery website. And then next week we'll be in Huntsville at Stand Up Live. And then next month on December 10th, we'll be in Houston at Warehouse Live. So get your tickets. We can't wait to see you guys. Come out, turn up. We're going to have a good time.
It's going to be fun. If you're interested in sponsoring any of those live shows, make sure you send us a DM or email us.
Mm-hmm.
We would love to help you grow your business. Before we get started, I need my hair done, so this is why I'm saying let's shout out the VDAY Salon. So
I need mine done too. That's why I have on a hat.
You know, it is when you are a woman and you trying to just you busy. If you're natural, it'd be hard figuring out your hairstyles. The VDAY Salon is a full service salon including hair, nails, pedicure, lashes, waxes, and makeup. Ooh, I like that. You can call them at 708-625-4180 to make an appointment.
The VDAY also has the best extensions and custom wigs. You can visit the salon to pick up hair, or if you're not in the Chicago area, you can go online to www.themadiway.com. That's the MADI way.com to take advantage of fast shipping or just pick up in the store. All orders ship out within 24 hours.
Oh, I like that. That's quick. The MadiWay.com also allows you to pay in full for everything.
In four.
In four. Is that
Pay in four, like Afterpay, you know?
Oh.
Split those payments up.
Split those up. If they let you pay in four for everything on the site, and you can book your hair appointments online.
Okay, for custom wigs, please call 708-625-4180 and have a picture ready of what you want your wig to look like. They can do anything. Shout out to them. They were a sponsor of the Chicago Live show. If you were at the show, she actually came up on stage during, it was a pageant, right? She had on like the latex corseted top. It was also her birthday. She had long straight hair. She said that was a custom wig from her company. So check them out.
I don't even like wigs, but she made me want to get one. I was like, let me try it out. So make sure you guys follow at the VDAY. That's MADIWAY on Instagram.
Okay. So now it's time for us to let you know we have a special guest today. We have Kori Lee with us. If you have been listening for a while, you may recognize her from the quarantine days when we were in those boxes. And now we've got her in the flesh. Welcome.
Thank you.
Hi,
so nice
Kori.
to be here in person.
I know.
And not in the Birdie Bunch box.
Right?
I'm so glad. And it's so funny because Kori was the therapist, the guest speaker for the last Paradise and Vibe, which was in Morocco.
Yes.
And so it was really cool to connect with you there, and the different workshops that she hosted and put together in Morocco. It was just incredible. We was crying, we was laughing, we brought baby pictures. We talked a lot about self-esteem, self-confidence. It was a way for everybody to really connect. And you know, because a lot of people didn't know each other there. And so people were vulnerable, felt comfortable with Kori. She is a therapist. And welcome to CockTales.
Thank you. It's so nice to be here.
It's been a minute since we've had a therapist, since we've had a civilized episode.
I know, right? Because y'all just be listening to us and you know we're just winging it day by day.
We're just trying to make it.
Out there.
Yeah, so we're going to play a game with you. It's actually a game we created called I'm Curious to Know. If you want to get your copy of I'm Curious to Know, head to I'mCuriousToKnow.com and you can purchase it there. So I have a card. It says, what was your hardest friendship breakup?
Oh, for me, my
Yeah.
hardest.
Oh, friendship breakups be
Oh,
hard.
that's hard because I have the same friend since like 9th grade.
Oh, that's good.
Well, one girl, so I know we had a really rough breakup. It was weird though because she didn't want to tell us she was dating this guy because the guy was like, I can cuss on here, right?
Yeah.
The guy was like real shitty, just treated her real bad, and she didn't want us to know that she was going out there to visit him.
She was
so
embarrassed.
We was just talking about this last week.
Yeah, so she was embarrassed, and so, we kept trying to, prompt it out of her, but eventually she just ended up going and kind of ghosting us, and so...
Damn.
And we have been friends since junior high, and so we were about 19 at the time, so that's probably the hardest, because people still ask me about her, because we were so tight.
Did she get married to him?
She did. She had a daughter with him. They got divorced. He was exactly who we told her he was.
That'd be the reason why people don't want to come back around. You just don't want to face
you're
it.
embarrassed.
She didn't want to hear I told you so, and we would not have done that. But still, he was exactly very controlling. He didn't want her to do anything.
Did he have her canceling plans with y'all?
All the time.
You see?
All the time. Ooh. Now, this is back in the pager days, so he's blowing up her pager.
What the pager? So she didn't even have to answer it.
911. She would find that girl was scurried to the nearest payphone. Yeah, it was rough. But yeah, that's probably a breakup because she just ghosted and we just hadn't talked for like decades at this point.
That's sad. Do you think if she reached out to you now, you would be open to talking to her?
Oh, yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Okay, next one. I'm curious to know, Kori, what is one of the most thoughtful gifts you have ever received or given?
Y'all got me digging in there. Probably something from my children. Like, I really love, like, homemade cards. Like, just really sentimental things. Like, my kids are really good about, obviously they want to keep their own coins. So they're not spending money. But it makes them have to be really creative. So, like, probably the most thoughtful gift. Last year, I got, like, a poster board. And it was, like a game, kind of. So, like, everyone had a different, like, homemade reminder of like their favorite memory with me behind it.
Oh, that is very
really sweet. So like each one was like a different memory that they loved.
I always wonder when people have kids and you're married, I bet the husband is happy because he don't have to give as many gifts. It's like the kids. It's like, get the kids. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yep, I'm sure.
Okay. How do you approach trust in a relationship? Do you start with it or does it have to be earned?
I start with it. We talk a lot about attachment styles. I know we talked about that back in the little Brady Bunch pandemic days. But I have so much trust in myself and my ability to pick partners that I'm more trusting initially. And then if you do something that kind of, alarms me or alerts me to the fact that you're not trustworthy, I know that I can trust myself to get away. So, yeah,
that's good.
I'm going to give it in the beginning. I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt.
Okay, last one. I'm curious to know. What do you consider cheating? Ooh, we about to have a therapist answer this question.
Ooh, cheating is any betrayal of your partnership. So if betrayal to you means texting on Instagram or DMing on Instagram, emotional attachments, or if it's physical, sexual, I think it's any betrayal, any crossing of a line between you and your partner. And I think you should discuss that. You need to know what that is ahead of time.
You do need to discuss it. Y'all need to discuss these things.
Yeah, because everybody doesn't have the same boundaries.
Yeah.
And you just operating on what you want to do. That's not good.
Yeah, you're operating in assumption. Everybody doesn't have the same expectations. Some people think that's not cheating if you're just texting an ex. Some people are very adamant that that's cheating.
Oh, just a text?
Just a text. That's all it takes. I've seen divorces.
You can only have eyes for
Really?
me.
Yes.
Wow.
Some people be like, I don't play that. Why were you texting them?
Why did they
I'm
need a
not that
happy
person,
birthday?
but yeah.
Do you still love her?
Right. Why are you even thinking about her birthday and you forgot mine?
Yeah, how do you know?
Do you think that's insecure to be acting like that? Or it's understandable as a therapist?
I think it has it's a reflection of some insecurity. It's like a symptom to a bigger problem. Yeah. If you're secure, then yeah, that wouldn't bother you.
Unless you know something is really happening. If you have a feeling, it's a thin line between insecure and that gut feeling. I know you're doing something with her.
Yeah. Yeah, your discernment. And if that's the case, you wouldn't be with them. If you had a secure attachment, you would have left a long time before that.
Right.
Most of us don't. Okay. Okay, so now it's time for us to move on to weird sex. And when we finish that, we'll talk to Dr. Kori Lee some more.
You said a man is not a necessity, a man is a luxury.
Like dessert. Yeah. A man is absolutely not a necessity.
Did you mean that to sound mean and bitter?
Oh, not at all. I adore dessert. I love men. I think men are the coolest. But you don't really need them to live.
Okay, so this week's weird sex story. 21-year-old Fatiha Marzan was arrested. This is somebody who had some real issues. She fatally stabbed her sister after finding out that the sister was flirting with her boyfriend. The incident occurred on September 26th. She stabbed her in a bedroom that she shared with her at their family's home in Orlando. Of course, it was Florida.
I was just about to say, dang, Florida.
She learned that her boyfriend and younger sister were flirting with each other as they traded messages through a video game they were playing. Reports noted that Fatiha and the unidentified boy had been in a long-distance relationship as they've been together for 5 years. Jeez. The 21-year-old then went on to murder her sister after learning her boyfriend told her sister that he loved her. 2 weeks before the fatal stabbing, she bought a dagger-style knife set, so she planned this out. Reports went on to say that she concealed the weapons in a closet and waited until her family went to sleep before reportedly stabbing Sama in the chest 3 to 4 times. She then called officials hours after the stabbing, admitting to stabbing her younger sister. Officials discovered that the sister was unresponsive. She's been charged with first-degree murder and is held in the Orange County Jail with no bond.
How old was she?
21.
That is crazy.
Isn't it? Like, and your sister, sheesh. All of it is wrong. It's just sad. But yeah.
I don't even have no words. Normally I have a word or a little joke, but that one is crazy.
Yeah, it's no joke for that one because she really just stabbed up her sister because she was texting a boyfriend. And it's like, what did you think you were going to do after that? Get back, stay with the boyfriend? He loved your sister.
Right.
And you done killed her because he loves her. And you're 21.
That's wild.
A whole future ahead. Anyway, keep sending the stories in. Thanks. So I was wondering, Medina, have you ever been embarrassed to get like an emergency contraceptive?
Have I? I feel like I've shared this on the story before, and I made it funny, but in the moment it wasn't funny.
It never is.
Yeah, there was a time when I woke up and needed an emergency contraceptive because I did not want this man to father my child, and he took me to the nearest pharmacy. It was early in the morning, and when I got there, the employees of the pharmacy were having a company meeting.
Oh my God.
I went down the aisle to go try to find any type of emergency contraceptive. They didn't have any, so I had to interrupt their company meeting, and it was very embarrassing. I felt ashamed, and everyone turned around and was like, "What do you need?" And I was like,
Yeah, imagine trying to go pharmacy to pharmacy to find those, and then you can't even get it off of a delivery app. It's just like, buying them is already embarrassing sometimes, the way that people make you feel, and then to not be able to get it, it's just a lot. But if you've ever had unprotected sex, forgot your birth control, because that's definitely happened to me, had a condom break, that's happened, or you're just not sure, we're excited to talk about a new company that is giving emergency contraception a much-needed rebrand. Julie is an FDA-approved morning-after pill that helps stop pregnancy before it starts. When it comes to complex and stressful choices around your health, they believe women deserve products that are easy in every way. Easy to find, easy to take, easy to relate to, and easy to understand. That is so important when you're stressed out.
that is so important. Julie stops your body from releasing an egg using the same active ingredient as Plan B. Essentially, Julie works by preventing or delaying your ovulation. With no egg, there's no fertilization and therefore no pregnancy. Yes. And it's no risk to future fertility. That's good to know. It's legal in all 50 states. You don't need an ID, prescription, or credit card to get it. You can find Julie at Walmarts across the U.S., or you can order online to have for future emergencies.
Yeah, so you can go to juliecare.co to learn more or find Julie at your nearest Walmart today. That's juliecare.co to learn more. JULIECARE.co.
Okay, Kori. How you been, girl?
Great. How about you?
Good.
Y'all just in here glowing. I love it.
Thank you.
We be trying. We tired. We just did a show in Chicago, so we're just getting
Going
back.
to Boston. I don't know.
Going to all the live shows. You're gonna have to come to one if we do another one in Atlanta.
Yes,
Make it a date
please.
night.
Yeah.
So this week we wanted to calm things down a little. I think it might get a little bit hype, and talk about a few different topics. So the first one I wanted to talk about, a lot of the advice letters that we get from women, it seems like people have a little bit of self-esteem issues. Well, first of all, I wanted you to break down what's the difference between self-confidence and self-esteem.
Confidence is about trust.
Mm-hmm.
Trust has to be demonstrated repetitiously over time. And, you know, when you're talking about esteem, it's about regard. Do I esteem myself? Do I have a high regard for myself? I could have a high esteem for myself and not necessarily trust myself if I'm coming off a bad decision, or maybe I think I stayed with someone too long. So you can have one without the other.
Mm-hmm.
So what's some examples of having of the different ones so that people can be clear? Like, what's an example of having high regard for yourself but low self-esteem, and then high self-esteem but a low regard for yourself?
Yeah, the regard is the esteem. So like confidence is about like, do I trust my, like you're talking
Decisions.
about your intuition, yeah, your discernment. And having a regard for yourself, if you just break down the word, just esteem, to esteem someone, if I esteem my colleagues and I kind of look at them with admiration.
Okay.
I might not necessarily trust in that same person, but I can regard them and don't necessarily have to trust with them. So it's the same when you kind of turn it around intrinsically. I can have high self-confidence and still maybe struggle with how I regard myself in certain situations. And efficacy is the one that everybody gets confused about. It's about efficiency. I could be a great worker and still really struggle with like how I see myself in personal situations or just in general.
I remember in Morocco at one of the workshops, you talked about that. And a really great example that she gave was someone who has a really great job, or you're a celebrity. And when you're in that light, you're like, yeah, and I do this and I do this. But in your real life, you got a boyfriend that's dogging you or disrespecting you or going upside your head. And nobody would ever think that you're going through this because you hide behind this job that you have that gives you the confidence that you need to even be able to stand in front of that room of people or be on television.
Yeah, that imposter syndrome is real trendy right now because, you know, efficacy is built off of like accomplishments. So like going through school, you're getting a little, you know, pat on the back, you're getting a little A's on your report card. But that doesn't necessarily build your esteem or how you see yourself. You know, a lot of people, I'm sure we all know people that we think are so beautiful and so great, and they dog themselves. They don't even see what we see. So they have a lower regard or esteem, even though they could be very efficient in what they do.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
I've been
but
there
it makes
before.
a lot of sense. Yeah, me too. And when you're talking to people who are going through that, it's hard on either side of it to really get somebody to see what you see in them, you know, and to lift them up. And sometimes I feel bad for people when you see that obviously they're going through something or they don't view themselves in a high regard, and people are constantly telling them how low their self-esteem is, and they say it like it's a dig, but it's like, well, girl, you think you telling somebody that you got low self-esteem, girl? That's not gonna lift the person up. You're not helping. They do feel bad about themselves. So let's say something nice.
Right.
Should challenge ourselves to try that.
Is it bad to point it out though?
I think it's like if you're pointing it out, it doesn't help the situation. If somebody already is down on themselves and doesn't look at themselves in a good way, and then you just tell them that they don't, like, girl, I know that I'm already down on myself. So why are you telling me what I already know? You know,
you're burying me. And like, I've already got that covered.
Yeah.
So
I see what you're saying. You're saying from a tough love perspective. If you see someone you love really struggling. But you wouldn't say it like that. Like you said, you'd come to them more concerned.
I had a girlfriend one time who struggles with self-esteem, self-confidence, efficacy, it all. And I don't ever want to hurt anyone's feelings, but I also believe in we got to pick up somewhere if we want to pick it up. And I just got her a book about self-esteem, and I got it for her birthday and just put it in, I love you so much, and I hope you enjoy this read.
Because it's to motivate. But like we've all had that friend where you go out and they're always asking you like, oh my God, what does this look like? That gets annoying too.
It gets annoying. Like I had a friend who actually came to one of our live shows and she kept asking me, do I look pretty? Do I look pretty? Do I look pretty?
Girl,
and
I don't have
first
time
of all,
for that. I'm trying to look pretty.
This is my show. We're stressed. We're nervous. I pulled her aside. I said, hey, listen, I need you to stop doing this. This is really stressing me out. You look good. Go outside and let men holler at you. I don't know what you want me to do. Like, what do you want me to do?
That is exhausting.
It's annoying. Get some therapy. So, speaking of low self-esteem and things like that, I wanted to talk about dating with low self-esteem. How important do you think it is to not do that, I guess? Like, I think that men, sometimes I think that men, they like prey on that. I've seen,
absolutely.
like, a man can like smell the low self-esteem in a woman and take advantage of you and know, and I'm not even saying it from like a predator type of way. I'm just saying you're dating men and they know that you have low self-esteem. They can call you when they want. They can
But I kind of do
play
feel
with
like
you.
that's a bit of predatory behavior. Like, you know that you can dog this girl, and that's why you pick them. I think some men who know that they're not going to be available and they really don't want to put out anything, but they want the benefits of having a woman, they like women like that.
And let me not even just blame men, because I know I have dealt with men that had low self-esteem and I knew it and I used them. And I did it because I knew I could. Right. And that is bad behavior. I know it.
But it happens.
We all have called that person up 2 a.m. to get Taco Bell delivered.
Or you just reached back out because Christmas time was coming around and you want a gift.
It happens. It absolutely does. So what would you say are some things that people should do to kind of lift themselves up and stop repeating these behaviors?
Well, first, they do have to be aware of it. Like, they do have to understand that, you know, we're in a society now, especially with social media, everybody wears the I'm a queen sweatshirt and they feel like shit inside. So, like, first they have to be aware that they don't have high regard for themselves and figure out at the core why.
Yeah.
Like, it was there at one point. It was stripped away at another point. So, first, when you create that awareness for it, then you can kind of put the puzzle together with the pieces that you can kind of recognize. Because, again, if I'm not even aware that I don't have high self-esteem and I'm faking it till I make it, then I can't really remedy something I don't know is a problem.
That's why sometimes you got to tell them. Sis, we struggling with that esteem. Then let's throw in sex with no or low self-esteem. I feel like that was a lot of the hoes in high school. When I'm, as an adult now looking at it, I'm like, dang, like sis just didn't really have no self-esteem and was finding it in like the attention from men. They knew it and she was getting trains ran.
Or just fucking around with a lot of people. Absolutely. And just looking for somebody to give you some love or what you thought was love, not real love, obviously, attention, whatever. And it's crazy to me, like when I talk to people, usually there are people who have come out of it. Very rarely is it somebody still in it, which is always the saddest when they're still in it and they're my age. It's like, come on, girl, you should realize now with talking to other people, this isn't normal. A lot of times I find that people grew up being taught that that's how things should be. Like, this is how men should treat you. This is how it goes. And it's like, who raised you? I just be feeling bad. It hurts my feelings.
I be feeling bad too. And I'm not, and you can touch on this or give the advice. I don't know how someone is supposed to unlearn something that you've learned for 20 plus years. How do they do that? Let's say they can't afford therapy. Like, what are some tools that they could...
A library card and books?
The internet.
I'm just saying, like,
Kori's like,
free, you know?
But no, you're right. And a lot of people do struggle with the idea of, like, let's say you do make that awareness that, hey, I don't really regard myself because I can tell I'm putting myself in bad situations. Maybe I am allowing myself to be used or misused. If they're not able at that point, I don't know, though. Therapy is so accessible. I'm not even going to say if they can't go to therapy because there's too many places like Open Path and Loveland Foundation. Like, they give free vouchers. Like, there's too much.
Really?
There's too many. You know, in Open Path, again, you can get sessions as low as $30. Like, y'all go to Chick-fil-A and spend $30. So, but let's assume for some reason they don't know that. They do, like you said, they'd have to be very self-directed to, like, find resources, information. They'd have to go to the library because you're right, Medina. How do you remedy a pattern? First of all, when you are aware that it's a pattern, now what do I do with it?
Right.
Like, how do I do something that I've never ever seen or been exposed to?
Yeah, this is
doing?
all I know, but it doesn't feel good. So I want something different.
Right.
Yeah.
You have to educate yourself. You have to expose yourself to different awarenesses regarding patterns and like, okay, this isn't what I want to keep doing. So now what? Like, you got to give it some type of like, if I'm going to balance it out with this is what I used to do, I have to have something else. Or I'm just going to keep doing what it's like when you know better, you do better.
I have a question. How do you feel about cutting people out, like your family? Because I'm just thinking about this, and you know, that's where we learn a lot of things from when we're young, right? So if you are 26 years old and you realize everybody in your family has been teaching you that all of these things that you've been doing are right when they are not wrong, they don't have you feeling happy, you don't look at yourself well, how do you cut off your whole family? Because they're all toxic. And they're encouraging what you've been doing, even though it's not right.
Yeah, well, I mean, and when you say cut off, I understand what you mean as far as like limit access. Because when I work with my clients, like emotionally intelligent people, you understand how to put boundaries in place to where you limit access. Because like emotionally unavailable people cut off. It's almost like an avoidant behavior because you're not remedying anything. But if you put a boundary in place, you verbalize why you're doing it. Because that's for you, though. You being assertive and verbalizing why you're limiting access to them. You put a boundary in place, and then guess what? They don't have that access to you. And if you're trying to heal an old pattern, you don't want to be in that same environment. Like, you can't heal where you got sick. So, like, yeah, limit access, put boundaries in place. But even family, like, you don't want to ever cut off anybody. You want to just limit access and put boundaries in place.
But what if you put up the boundaries and then continue to disrespect the boundaries? At some point, don't you think you should close that door to somebody who is constantly disrespecting the boundary?
Yeah,
or
no?
no?
That would be limiting access. Like,
It's just all the way
access,
limited.
So maybe you just see them on Thanksgiving.
On like holidays. Like, you're just limiting access. But yeah, you're right. You might scale that down. That might be once a month, and then you keep violating. Now I'm every quarter. Okay, you want to keep tripping? Now I see you every 4th year.
You about to be back in prison.
Now you just get a group text.
Now you're out. Yeah. No, I mean, but honestly, like, I would rather encourage people to, but you're verbalizing along the way of why you're limiting access. You're not just doing the cutoff. Yeah.
I'm not going to ghost them, but you know, hey.
Yeah, because ghosting hurts you. It's not even about you honoring that family member. It's about you always being assertive, and that builds your self-confidence.
So, I was recently talking to somebody's son about low self-esteem and like if he had ever, like, what are some signs that you see in women? This was a man that I was asking that you could tell she has a low self-esteem. And he had mentioned if a woman can't go out by herself, like, you know, sometimes we might just take ourselves on a date, go to a bar.
We do it all the time.
We do it all the time. I'm very comfortable with it. He said that those are signs that, like, he's like, when I meet women that can't do that or they're not comfortable with it, it's a turnoff for me because to me it says something about your self-esteem. It's your confidence. It's weird that you can't just go out by yourself and sit at a bar.
Or something.
You have to have somebody with you. And then he asked me.
I never thought about that, but that makes a lot of sense. Because I will say, when I was less confident in myself, I would not go places alone. Like when I was like 19, 20, I'm not going nowhere by myself. Now I will absolutely go everywhere.
I will go to the movies by myself. I will go to the spa by myself. I will go to dinner by myself and not just sit at the bar. Sometimes I'll sit at the table. I'll make a reservation and be like, it's a date. And it's me.
I will lie and say it's two because don't you hate when the restaurants won't let you have a one-person reservation at the table?
What
like,
you trying to say?
Is this discrimination?
I think it is, and we might need to sue somebody.
For 3 people.
But then he had asked me, what are some signs from a woman from a man? And so one of my, and I want you guys to tell me what you guys think some signs are from men. My biggest thing is, and it is a turnoff for me, get that help that you need. You won't get it from me. But eye contact. I can't stand when I am talking to a grown man. I even make my nephew do this. Look me in my eyes, buddy. Like when you're fumbling or doing too much, look at me in my eyes and talk to me. Like
I always think they have something else wrong. It's some sort of syndrome or disorder. Or something's got a name to it. Because what are you doing?
To me, I think you have low self-esteem.
But maybe it could just be that. I guess I didn't have to jump into the deep end. But that's what I be thinking.
That's one of my signs. Do you ladies have any signs where, like, if a man does it, you're like, dang, he's not a confident man? Because we've all experienced a confident man walking into a room and you're like,
I love it.
And he don't even got to be fine. I've met some ugly men where they got all the confidence and they don't.
And that makes them a little bit more fun.
It makes them a lot more fun. finer.
I think someone who doesn't speak up. Why can't I hear you?
Oh, like he whispers.
Yeah, he's like talking like low. And then it's like when they talk low like that, they always kind of like,
Hunch.
yeah. And it's like, put your chest out, lift your head up, and say it with your chest.
Yes.
I'm trying to hear you. I'm interested in what you have to say. I'm looking at you. Why are you doing all of this? Like, I can't hear shit. Now I'm irritated.
Yeah, I'm irritated now,
What do
too.
you think?
Like passive aggressive. I was gonna say that too. Like someone who's like really insecure and you always have to constantly affirm them.
Woo!
Passive aggressive, like, oh, you know, this whole thing, you constantly need to validate. I think a lot of insecure men, like they need constant petting and constant affirming, just tiring.
And what if
that is not for me?
But what if someone was like, well, my love language is words of affirmation?
We're not a match. And that's okay if that's for you. I don't know what Kori gonna say about it, but that's not a match for me. I'm not doing that all day because it's irritating.
It is. It can.
And like you said, so words of affirmation is like, you know, sometimes. Like no one's like speaking your love language all day. But if you need that, like, you know, when you've been out with someone very insecure, first of all, and they lead with that. Like they need constant reassurance, like, man, you're so beautiful, woman, beautiful. I'm just surprised I got you. Like, it's not even like
that's annoying. Now I'm going to cheat.
It's not even a compliment. Like, now I have to boost you up because you're deflated like a little balloon boy. It's not even a compliment at that point. They're just needing you to affirm that they're just as good as you are. That's tiring.
That's weird. As a therapist, and if you can't answer this, then just say you can't. But have you ever been sitting in a session and you're like, this is weird?
I cannot answer that.
Very professional.
Very professional.
I could never be a therapist.
I could, because I think I would be like, oh my, I'm bored.
It's gonna be just like that.
What is you
segment.
talking about?
Like, wait, I just read that. What did it mean? What was it?
But do you ever want to tell people, girl, you know this is dumb?
I probably would say dumb. Now, I do have very candid conversations with my clients. Now, I do kind of tilt the head and be like, now, you know, come on. Come on now. Say that one more time. Now, say it out loud again. Now, you caught that, right? I don't even have to say it. They catch it.
So currently right now, especially in Atlanta, well, this might be a global pandemic. People are talking about how dating is just trash right now. Relationships are trash. People are cheating. There's divorces left and right. Everybody's cheating and lying and just, it's just really hard out here. And I wanted to know, what do you think people could do coming into cuffing season to have healthier relationships or just like a healthy dating relationship? What can we do, Kori? We need help because it's hard out here.
Right, and you're right. Cuffing season is coming, so
how can we go into those healthy relationships? How do you do that with these people's sons who be lying and be ashy?
Ashy and lying. Well, first of all, it's about checking in. So, like, are you having meaningful, very transparent conversations? Like, and of course, no one's going to come out and tell you if they're a cheater. Again, they're not going to come out and tell you, but you kind of know. You already know kind of who you're
should
with.
See some signs.
Yeah, but don't operate in assumption. Like I always tell people, like the most successful people work at corporations and jobs where they're meeting all the time. Like you have a successful podcast, you're meeting, right? You're not just getting in here and just kind of throwing it to the wind. Why aren't people meeting about their relationships? And it doesn't have to be, so formal. I mean, like just a glass of wine on a Sunday night. Why isn't there an intentional time for you and your partner to check in with
So maybe like a how we feeling?
Yeah.
How are you still enjoying this? Is there anything?
Can I support you? Do you have any? Like you operate, a lot of people operate in the assumption that everything's good, and they do this date night check-in thing where they go somewhere. It's usually a date that they don't even interact with each other. They might be at the movies, or they may be somewhere they're not even, like a concert. They're not even talking. So, like, when are you talking to your partner? When are you checking in with them? Like, how do you know your relationship is healthy?
I think that is key. And I think that's something that people should dive into in the beginning. I say this all the time to my girlfriends. If you don't feel comfortable, like you're dating somebody or he is inserting himself into your vagina on a regular and you feel some type of way about something, maybe you think you're exclusive and you don't know if you are though, and you don't feel comfortable addressing it, and it doesn't have to be dramatic. No. And if he doesn't want to talk to you anymore after that, it wasn't meant to be anyways. And like, I'm sometimes looking at my friends, like, why do you feel like you can't talk to him or ask him, where are we at?
Yeah.
If you feel like that, we talked about this last week, you might be in a delusional relationship.
I would be very confused as to why you thought you were in an exclusive relationship and you can't talk about it.
It's really weird, though, but you find...
I don't like to talk about my feelings sometimes. I don't. But if I thought I was exclusive, I can't say nothing about that. That's wild.
Yeah. Well, if you're eggshell walking around that topic, then there's not.
You're not
authentic
exclusive.
transparency.
Why do
Newsflash.
you think that a lot of the times, just in life in general, it's normally women that feel that way? Because men, that you can be dealing with a man for a minute or not that long, and let's say, like, you get pregnant. He's like, don't have the baby. It's not like he thought about it and called his friends, like, do you think that's inappropriate for me to suggest? Women do all this stuff, and we're like questioning, we want to make sure we don't ruffle his... Why do you think that is?
Entitlement. Patriarchal entitlement. No,
Yeah.
I think there is just like you said, moving with a certainty of like not being like dependent or conditioned to like worry about what the other person says.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Huh.
There's gonna be a conditioning too, like, and we have to be careful with our girl children not to create this docility. And I know everybody wants to talk about being submissive and like you know, and being led and all that. That's not what that is. If you're eggshell walking in a relationship, you don't feel secure enough to have a conversation. And it's brilliant, like you said, communication is not correlated to like confrontation
At all.
It is correlated with clarity. You have to have communication to be clear. And so we've got to change the narrative that every time we talk, oh, here she go, here we go. No, it can be a fun conversation. Let's have some wine. Let's put some music on. Let's check in.
You could
that
start
way.
it with a compliment. You know, I'm really enjoying how things have been going lately.
Or
feel?
I'm not.
Yeah, well,
I don't want to end because that also isn't. I want to end things. It's just like this. Let's spice things up a little.
Yeah. If there's a concern, but it doesn't have to be an argument. Doesn't have to be tense. I think people correlate that with like, oh, now we're gonna be arguing. No, it's a discussion. Why can't we have a discussion? And like,
I care enough to say something because I don't want it to be an argument. I don't want it to be a bigger issue. I'm trying to nip it in the bud.
I'm trying.
Yeah, or you don't want to cheat because cheating is about needs not being met. If you're not communicating that and you have no idea what your partner's needs are, you don't know if you're meeting them or not, then again, you're kind of, it's a recipe for disaster.
So do you want me to cheat or no?
Yeah. What's up? This is how I know I'm maturing. There's a guy that I'm dating, and one day we were talking, and I asked him, and I never really do this. I was like, I want to make sure you feel as good as I feel when I'm with you. What are some things that you want me, like that you need me to do so that I feel so appreciated when I'm with him? And I was like, I want you to feel that too. What do you need? And it's not like we're in love and it's like having, I'm not about to play with Kiara. He was like, wow. He was like, nobody has ever asked me that question. Because I don't want to waste time. Like, what do you need? Like, I don't want to be trying and figuring out if you don't like people buying you stuff, I'm not buying you nothing. What makes you feel appreciated? And it was such a beautiful conversation. Like, it was amazing.
So he had to
that warms my heart.
space. He had to cultivate a safe space for you to even feel comfortable. Or you may have created that within yourself to feel secure and comfortable to ask that. But yeah, like, what do you need? Or like, how can I best support you? Or what are you looking for in a partnership? Like, these are questions people need to ask.
And a lot of those questions are on our game. I'm curious to know. So you should order
It'll make it so much easier to just ease that in conversation. And you can just get to that one card and then put them away.
Yeah.
And ask the questions you really wanted to know.
Now y'all getting married and have a healthy relationship.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Exactly. You're
Curious to
welcome.
know, you're welcome.
Communication really is key, and it sounds so simple, but it's just crazy that most people are so uncomfortable having it. And it doesn't always just have to be a romantic relationship. It can sometimes just be with a business partnership or a friendship, and people would rather just ignore it, and now it's worse. Now we aren't friends, and or we breaking up, or some. It's just y'all should really practice communication and practice it in the slightest way. I said this. Go ahead.
And maybe not practice it by yourself. Because I think that a lot of times what happens is when you want to communicate, people will have the conversations with themselves and play it out how they think it's going to go.
That's
and
not
you don't
it.
even know what the person might say. I mean, sometimes you're right. But sometimes you're totally wrong and you don't realize that if you just would have had a conversation, hey, this person wouldn't have been upset about this, or they actually felt the same way that you did and you were just surprised. So stop having the conversations in the mirror.
I had somebody recently send me a DM, and it was a young lady who listens to the show. Shout out to you. I don't know. I can't remember what her name is, but she was like, she's going on a trip for the first time with a guy. she was like, I'm getting flued out and I really like him and he likes me. And she was like, but I'm so stressed out because like, I don't know where I'm staying. Like, I don't know I don't know how to talk about the hotel situation. And so when she said that, she was like, what should I say? Like, tell me what I should say. I was like, I could tell you what to say, but I'm just going to tell you this. You're flying to a different state to go see the man. And what you have to understand, you got to get comfortable with letting people know how you feel and where you're at. If you cannot afford to get a hotel, then you need to speak up. It's okay.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be a dramatic situation. Let him know, hey, I was expecting you to get the hotel, but let me know if I need to get it. Or I can't get the hotel. Like, were you going to get it? Or do we need to reschedule until I can? You got to figure out how you feel about going out there and paying for a hotel or not. Like, how do you feel about that? See how he answers it? See how you feel about his answer. It's okay to have the communication and not assume that he's taking...
It's okay to cancel that shit if it's not the answer that you wanted to get.
It is.
Rather than go there and get stuck.
And yeah, like
Yeah,
it's...
be miserable out of town.
Because I'm
no
looking at it,
friends.
you asking me about the hotel. I don't know y'all.
Okay.
I don't know not damn one of y'all. You asking me about the hotel
So
situation.
were they going to the same? They were both flying from somewhere else to the same city, or she was going to see him.
He's flying her to see him, but she doesn't want to stay with him, which is fine. That doesn't mean you don't
Right.
like him. You don't want to stay with him. Just let him know.
But if you
Yeah.
had the conversation and told him you're not comfortable staying there, why wouldn't you then?
She probably
say-
didn't have.
She
that
didn't have that conversation. That's what I'm saying. Bitches just be happy to get the flight confirmation.
So there probably is no hotel then. If they hadn't had
It's
that
not.
conversation, it's probably his house.
That's what I'm saying.
So
You
she needs to speak up.
speak up, y'all. Communication just...
It's about exercising vulnerability. So I think a lot of people struggle, like you were saying, Kiki, like they have the conversation with themselves. It's almost like they're playing chess with themselves because they're not sure.
I do that all the time.
Yeah,
To this
you're
day,
just not
I do.
sure. But it's hard because you can't break the narrative of the story of what you think is going to happen, and you might shock yourself. So you have to practice vulnerability.
And it's not, I'm not saying it like it's easy. I practice these things and have been practicing them, but that doesn't mean that it's easy. I still get embarrassed to bring up certain conversations because I maybe don't know, are you getting the hotel? How are we doing this? It's still hard for me to sometimes bring things up, but you got to start doing it so that you feel comfortable with it.
Yeah, it's the only way to do it. It's just like trying to get your eyebrows right with makeup. You just have to keep practicing and practicing. I mean, it took me so long. I was looking at some old pictures, and I look like Morticia.
They look very good right now.
Thank you. Thank you. But yeah, it's hard. Even like not even asking for stuff. I think stuff would be easier. Like, are you getting the hotel? That would be easier for me versus the feelings. That makes me break out in hives all in the back of my neck. But I've been working on it and I've been doing a lot better with it. And it's like every time I do it, I'm like, girl, why you ain't did this a long time ago? You are too old for this.
And it feels
Why won't-
empowering. Don't you
It
feel
does.
proud
And
of
I
yourself?
I do. And no matter the result of the conversation, it just feels so much better to have some clarity.
It does.
Yeah.
And even if the person tells you what you want to hear, because you built up the confidence to say whatever it was, you can see through it. I'm telling you, it's like a magic spell. You've got to try it.
Try it.
Right, and that's where confidence comes from. Repetitiously, like you said, you have to repetitiously practice. None of us are good. We're unfortunately not taught when we're younger to advocate and be assertive. So you have to practice it. And eventually it'll become so organic that you're just that person that is always just honest.
Now, can you be too open or too honest with your partner?
Regarding
I guess just,
like things you don't like about them.
yes. Yes,
Um,
complaining.
Yeah, and I do
Maybe
like-
you do the check-in, and every time we check in, you always got something to say.
or like from a negative perspective. I actually, the first thing that popped in my mind when you said that was like, so like, let's say there's a couple and there's a male in the relationship whose wife has gained weight or something. And they want to talk to her, but they want to, they don't want to trigger or, create shame. So like, those are, I think, the settings that people really struggle to be honest when it's something that the other person might perceive as criticism, like you said. Then you still have to find a way to be honest, because not saying it doesn't make it go away. You're actually going to build resentment, like, how secrecy builds shame. Secrecy also builds a lot of resentment too. And so like trying to find a way where like you don't feel like you're over explaining different things that could be negative, but like to not say it at all, I think is just not right.
So if your partner has gained weight and you feel some type of way about it, or you're not attracted to them anymore, you just got to keep telling them.
Well, like you said, keep telling them. Well,
This girl.
I think if you want to, offer like maybe some ways that that person is not about a weight or like a number, but it's body image. It's about health. Like you can come from that perspective. But like you have to say that it's not maybe all the time, but you do have to verbalize it at some point, because just to have the thoughts in your head every time you look at that person, like you getting fatter, look, she eating again. Like if you haven't voiced that's a concern, this other person doesn't even know this is all happening, and you're building up resentment behind the scenes.
Oh, do you suggest that people get married or not? What? Because it be feeling real hard.
It's a lot of work, but not even marriage. Like I was having a session earlier. And it's just relationships, like in
are
the talking phase.
hard.
First of all, the talking phase, I don't know how people navigate the talking phase.
Be glad you're not in it today. It's a lot going on.
It is the wild, wild west. Like, exactly. It's just free for all.
Exclusivity. You're gonna have sex in the talking phase, but I can't ask you.
But I can't ask you if you got
who came up with the talking phase?
I don't.
It wasn't
somebody's
me, for
son.
Sure.
That's who did it, and we went along with it.
Ashley's son. Damn,
That's who did it.
Navigate the talk. This talking is usually 60 to 90 days. Who came up with that?
I don't know.
I
That's
think
why
Steve
I just don't
Harvey.
be participating.
At work?
It is stressful. I'm like, I'm just gonna be on my computer, edit these.
I mean,
episodes.
relationships.
I'm tired.
Marriage is tough, but relationships in general, and we're biologically wired to connect, so none of us are gonna avoid it.
I was listening to a podcast the other day, and the guy was talking about marriage. Somebody had wrote in about moving in with their boyfriend or moving with their girlfriend, and he was talking about how that can lead to babies or marriage or whatever. And he was like, it's really crazy how people decide to do these things. He's like, not that it's a bad thing, but he was like, when you look at marriage and you look at somebody saying, I'm committing myself to you for the rest of my life in a traditional marriage. And I'm going to be with you you're the last person I'm going to be with for it's crazy. He was like, again, he wasn't saying it was bad. He was like, but you got to be ready for crazy. That is a crazy statement to say, I have found the one out of trillions of people in the world, and you are the last one that I will be with forever. And when I put it like that, I'm like, can I do it? Am I strong enough to do that? Am I strong enough to learn how to make a life with somebody where we have two different upbringings and we got to bring it together, possibly have kids and teach these little motherfuckers how to make it through life? Can I do it?
That makes me think, like, why the fuck did I think I was getting married at 26?
Me too. Why was they telling us get married?
But not get married. I said at 26. Like, that's so young. You have hopefully a lot of life to live. Who I was at 26 is not who I am today, even though that was just 2 years ago. Shut up. But it's you change so much. I'm different than I was a year ago.
And you hope and you pray that, at least I do, that I can meet a man, because I do want to be married. But I hope and I pray that I meet somebody that like gets that. Sometimes I feel like men are so selfish, and people love to say that I'm a man basher, but I'm really not. I just look at households. People be saying it in my DMs. It seems like I hate men, and I really don't.
Oh, wow.
But
people say it to me, but I know.
But I recognize the selfishness in men, and it's like I look at even like a man saying like your wife gained weight. Okay, did she have children? Is she like? I just look at how like it was in my household and everything that my mother did to make the house a home. Shout out to my dad because he's a great father. But moms be the shining stars in households for the most part. And so I hope that I meet a man in life that can go through these things with me. If I go through postpartum, if I gain a little weight, if I'm a little stressed, if my hair ain't always done, like, you gonna rock with me through all this? Because I'm not playing them games. We gonna be on Snap. I done had these babies for you, and you talking about I gained weight.
And my hair fuzzy.
And my hair is getting puffy. And I'm over here trying to make everything perfect for your little ashy ass. Like, I really, these niggas get on my nerves. Because it's not fair. Like, and they can be fat, ugly. You still,
right. But I pay the bills. They want to say that. Well, I keep everything going.
The house that is a home, I did that. The kids that is smart and succeeding in life, I did that.
You don't even do the homework. You didn't know they had. What's the teacher's name?
What doctor do they go to?
What grade are they in? Yes. Okay, they don't be knowing.
When is your sister's birthday? Because I'm calling LaTanya. You know what I mean? Like, you don't even know the things that the women is doing. And it just makes me so mad. I'm not married, but a lot of people around me are married. And it just seems like men get everything laid out for them. And you mad because she wants you to pay all the bills. You better be glad that's all women want you to do.
Because in the grand scheme of things, it's actually not that hard. When we had Nav on, he was like, I don't want to be a stay-at-home dad because it's too much work. I'm going to get a job just to pay for daycare, if that's what it's going to be, because I don't want to do that. that. And when you were talking about being emotionally intelligent earlier, that's another thing I think people need to consider in their relationships when they are looking, well, whether you're looking for a relationship, just a relationship, or marriage. You got to look at how that person is, just how they move, not just how they treat you.
You got to look at it
how
now.
They look through, how they do life. Are they like, I can't believe this person changed all the time? Like, are they realizing that people change as they grow and as you learn more and you have different life experiences? Are they flexible?
Mm-hmm.
Somebody who doesn't have a lot of flexibility is not probably going to be good if you're not 60 getting married and you're
can they
30.
Regulate, right?
Yeah.
Can they regulate and verbalize their own emotion?
Mm-hmm.
Those are things you need to ask early, though. You do not need to wait. But the problem is, and again, not to stereotype, but like sometimes in relationships we do potentialize and romanticize people, and we look at them and say, okay, they're not who I want today, but yo, give them 1 year, give her 1 year. If I put her through school, if I put him. You can't romanticize and potentialize people. Like, trust them when they tell you who they are the first time.
Yep. That's facts.
Not gonna change.
Yeah. Y'all really better be paying attention now while you're dating, like during the dating phase. Don't wait until now he's proposed and now you're like, and I'm gonna change him. You're not.
I told you I wasn't cleaning up this year. That's never gonna change. And if you can't afford to call Allie maids, I'm not the one for you.
Right. That is real. I have a friend, a guy friend who got married to a girl. She never liked cooking. He
Now
thought
he want her to cook.
And she's like, no, she was never, I don't even blame sis. She was never cooking. And now you thought she was going to become this wifey person and start cooking. Like, she never cooked. And he's like,
she got DoorDash.
Right. But like the ring is a magic wand. But that goes both ways. It is not a magic wand. Like, that ring will not go
Unfortunately.
on, you will not cultivate this potentialized, romanticized person. Like, they are who they are the day before the wedding and the day after.
and I want to like you. I want to like the person that if I get married, I want to really like you. I don't want to every day I'm calling you Kiki and I'm like, this nigga. No, I want people to be jealous. I want them to be like, he don't never be making you mad.
Now, see, you took it too far right there. You took it
about
too far. Why you don't just want to be happy? This one I'm just going to stay with my toys.
And just name them.
Okay, and get another one every time that battery goes out.
Now, before we move on to indecisive Diane, can you just touch on how past trauma that is not dealt with can show up in romantic relationships?
Yeah, I think it comes out like we were talking about earlier with a lot of insecurities, especially if it's past trauma where like your partner now was cheated on in the past. You will definitely pay for the sins of the past. Like, you know how they say, heal your wounds or you bleed on people that didn't cut you. You will be bled all over if your partner had a trauma in the past with cheating or some type of abandonment and they haven't healed that. You're the one that's going to end up doing the work with them and for them. And that's just exhausting. So you have to be aware. And people share that. Mm-hmm. You know, people do talk to you about it, usually pretty early. They talk to you about maybe they had their last partner. And that's another thing, too. If you are dating someone and you ask them why did that relationship break up and they have no accountability. A card. If they have no accountability, like everything was the other person's fault, you need to run.
That's true.
Run like you got on Nikes, like run, just do it, just run, because that is a sign of emotional intelligence. If they can't take, they could kind of point out some things the other person did, but if it's all about the other person cheating and this horrible,
and you didn't do nothing wrong,
that is a red flag. But people do, they talk to you very early on, they tell you what happened.
I've done that in my dating relationships recently because I used to be a cheater, but I've also been cheated on. And a lot of the ways that I got cheated on by men, it was so crazy. I never got like the bad guy that seemed like the bad guy. I got the bad guy in sheep's clothing. Yeah, and then he did a sucker punch, and it was just crazy. Like you just pop up married, or you just lie and you cheat. I have been doing a good job of letting people know this happened to me, and if we're at a certain phase of seriousness, when texting patterns switch up for me on a weekend, it might be a problem for me.
Yeah, you need to explore your triggers. You need to explain your triggers, right? But like you said, work on the trauma. And a lot of people think you have to be fully healed to be in a new relationship. First of all, no one is fully healed. We all have trauma. Trauma is just the Greek word for pain. Who has not had pain from love? Love hurt.
All the time.
You have to understand, and like you're not going to be fully healed, and that's okay. But as you're healing, let's say you do start a new relationship, be vulnerable, be transparent. That person's job is not to heal you, but they can be aware of your process and your journey.
I'm glad that you said that, because you also said in Morocco, you talked about how people do this thing of like, I can't date right now because I need to work on me. And I really wanted you to share what you said to us in Morocco, how you were like, that's not how this is really supposed to go. You don't have to. I can't remember what you said verbatim. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I want to know because I felt like
You were
when
talking
I was
about how
being mean to
people-
people, I should not be dating people. I gotta wait till I get out of that
Yes,
little angry
now,
phase.
Now that's true. And you know what that comes from? Your self-confidence.
Yeah, it's
If
like I
I'm
gotta get through that
confident
part.
That I'm not fully healed because I don't know that ever happens. Because no one's perfect. But what I was saying was, if you feel like you're not at that place where you're displacing and projecting a lot of anger, obviously, and you don't have a lot of resentment toward that sex, the person that hurt you before, then you might be ready to date. And so what I was saying was, you don't have to be. A lot of people come, whether they're in session and they're like, yeah, because I really want to be in a relationship, and they almost try to heal to get with somebody. First of all, you're already going
That's what you were
wrong.
saying.
But like, there is no magical moment of like, I'm healed and now I can fall in love. Like, you can actually do some healing while you're dating. However, if you're in that phase, like Kiki was talking about, do not date anybody. Do not. Stay away. Danger.
Because have you dated somebody like that where they just seemed like you're not over the last situation? You have too many walls up. You're not letting me in.
The crazy thing is, no. I'm like a serial dater, and I approach each person like nothing happened.
No, have you met
a
somebody
guy.
who was like that to
Oh.
you? Not you being like that.
I'm sure I have.
Yeah.
I can't think of a specific one, but I'm sure I've met somebody and I was
know
like,
I have,
you're not
and I
ready.
didn't like it. And so when I did it before, I was like, okay.
You knew they weren't ready.
Well, them, and then when I realized I did it to somebody else, I was like, okay, I have to take a break because I'm
Well,
not
usually,
being my best self.
You can tell
I gotta
when you're
work on.
repulsed too. Like, attraction and repulsion are opposing forces. And so if I'm not gravitating to you because I'm healed, everything you're gonna do is gonna repulse me. So that's a sign. If you're repulsed, like if you're on like Hinge or Tinder right now swiping and everybody's ugly, cheater, ugly, cheater, you're not ready.
But sometimes they do be ugly, Kori. They do.
Okay, you're right. But like if everybody, even the ones you would otherwise be like, oh, okay. If you
Well,
don't
yeah,
see
not
good in-
everybody, but
if you don't see good in any potential partnership, you may be still a little too wounded to date.
You might need to go book a
And
session.
you need to know that, right? You need to know that for yourself. That's where your efficacy as far as your confidence comes. Like, all these different things come into play.
and turn that mirror around on you and talk to yourself.
We did
That's
that.
when you talk to
That was one of the
yourself.
workshops in Morocco. I was
Oh, you
crying.
turned that
Remember?
mirror?
She gave us all mirrors, and we had to all go outside in a little corner and talk to ourselves.
That was so emotional.
That was so.
day.
I was really crying.
And I didn't. I was very proud of myself.
Oh,
'Cause
that's good.
Yeah, because we try not to, but it was very hard. Like, everybody in there was like,
I started crying when she just handed the mirrors out because I already knew it was about to
I was
happen.
trying to get me that day. I was like,
Ooh, it was rough.
Yeah, I've done
All
an
right.
exercise like that. It is something.
We're going to move on to Indecisive Diane. When we come back, we're going to read some advice letters, and Kori, a professional, is going to answer y'all's questions.
Would you stop thinking about what everyone wants? Stop thinking about what I want, what he wants, what your parents want. What do you want? What do you want?
It's not that simple.
What do you want? What do you want?
Hey ladies, the holidays are creeping up on us, and I have a cute little idea for someone that you don't mind silence with. Someone you don't mind being in their car. I guess if it's a hoopty, you don't want to go, but if they got a range, this is perfect. Pick the rich neighborhood if you don't already live in it, and drive around looking at the holiday lights. Have some hot cocoa. Put a little Jameson in it. Have fun. Bye.
On my path to making better financial decisions because I suck at it, I have really been trying to pay more attention to the subscriptions that I'm paying for every month. And when I tell you that I looked at my account after downloading Rocket Money and I realized that I had been paying for stuff. First of all, some apps, I didn't know what they were. I was paying for things like basically twice, when you have a TV subscription or like one of the streaming services to get the channels. Like, I already have one channel in one package, but I'm paying for it separate, and I didn't realize it. It helps me save so much money because it'll scan my account and tell me, hey, this is coming up. If I'm not using it, I can cancel it. They'll do it for me. They'll even negotiate the prices on something. So yeah, it's amazing. I love it. My life has totally changed, and that's why I love using Rocket Money, formerly known as Truebill.
Oh, that sounds like something I need. You guys, the app shows all of your subscriptions in one place and then cancels for you whatever you don't still want. Rocket Money can even find subscriptions you didn't know you were paying for. Oh, I need that. You may even find out you've been double charged for a subscription. To cancel a subscription, all you have to do is press cancel, and Rocket Money takes care of the rest.
Get rid of useless subscriptions with Rocket Money now. Go to rocketmoney.com/cocktails. Seriously, it could save you hundreds per year. That's rocketmoney.com/cocktails. CockTales. Cancel your unnecessary subscriptions right now at rocketmoney.com/cocktails. Okay, and we are back from Indecisive Diana. It's time for the advice. If you have a question that you would like to ask on the show, you should email us at advice@cocktailspod.com.
Okay, so this one is titled, My Husband is a Bore.
Damn.
Hey, ladies, you can call me Dee. I need some help. Just a little background. I'm 35 and my husband is 45. We've been together for 10 years and married for almost 2. Woo, y'all was dating long. I absolutely love and adore him and likewise, but he is just a bore in the bedroom. For the past year or so, I've been listening to your show along with a couple of others, and I've come to realize that there is a lot of things that I have not done and even more things that I want to try, but my husband is not having it. He is really old-fashioned and stuck in his ways. I've tried talking to him and hinting around about some other things that I want to try. I've tried putting him on to different porn and saying, hey, can we try this? And even tried having him listen to a few clips of CockTales. I was trying to get him to understand that men try things too. But as soon as he heard y'all talking about masturbating, he cut it off and said he couldn't listen to it. We've been together this long, and I just want to spice things up. His only idea of spice is bringing another woman into the bedroom. I don't have a problem with that because I love women too, but I don't want that to be the go-to for my enjoyment. I want to be choked and tied up and blindfolded and talked dirty to. I want to wear the vibrating panties and butt plug in public, and I want to go to a sex club. I want to explore all of my sexuality to the fullest, and all he wants is missionary positions and head a few times a month.
This sounds like slavery.
It sounds horrible. I feel like his name is Earl.
It's gotta be.
And he's a plumber.
Earl Leroy Jones.
Yeah. I'm at a dead end, and I don't know what more I can do if he's not willing to compromise at all. Any advice? I really don't want to cheat and find someone to just blow my back out, but it seems like that's what it's coming to.
Damn.
Do you ever advise people to cheat?
No.
Okay.
Never.
I'm glad we have somebody here that's because I sometimes be like, well, just cheat on that nigga.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
I'm good at it. No.
What would you tell her to do if she was your client?
I mean, 10 years and he's clearly
Did y'all
never-
communicate? That's what is confusing
like,
here.
this
Y'all
is around month 2 and you start asking him, on this fun date that you could be on, hey, what's your idea of fun? And if he's missionary at month 2 and you're butt plugs, then clearly this isn't the ideal
This
partner
is
and you
not
can
a
leave.
match.
But now you're 10 years in and you probably romanticize and potentialize him. And then again, now you're looking at him. He's been consistent.
Mm-hmm.
You are the one that switched
oh.
He told you he didn't
And
want to do
that's
all
where
that.
women go wrong when you're not showing who you. We're talking so much about men not showing. You're not showing who you didn't show who you were those whole 10 years. Yeah. You were the fraud.
Mm-hmm.
He's being
and
who
now
he
you're
is.
mad at him and he's been consistent.
Oh.
So now you're mad. And now you want to cheat and do all these punitive things to him. And he's been missionary and wants a threesome and head every couple months. And now you want vibrating panties. And he's probably looking at you like, why'd you switch up?
Who are you? That's why it behooves y'all to start asking. Don't be walking on
Don't wait.
eggshells. What was you doing for 10 years?
Why would you invest that much time? Like, do
Why
this
would
early.
you? Because
Do this early before you have that emotional attachment.
Get it popping in the beginning, okay?
I know we're not helping her because she didn't do it early. So let me give you advice. And then she's like, well,
She probably turned it
I
off.
know, I can't go
All right,
back 10 years.
Let's go back. You're having the conversations, it sounds like. Clearly, there's some aversion to it. Like, if you bring up masturbation and he's ashamed, again, you're dealing with somebody who probably has some type of traumatic sexual history or someone who has some heavy shame, especially a man who doesn't want to talk about masturbation. Like, what happened? Who shamed him? He could get help. You maybe go to a sex therapist. Like, long before you cheat or decide if you want to leave, you put in a lot of time. Go and find your local sex therapist. You could do tantra classes. There's different ways for you to kind of explore this together, but maybe there's some other things happening at the core for him sexually and traumatically that you need some help to help him with.
Watch Sex, Love, and Goop on Netflix. That might help y'all.
I don't know what to tell you, girl. Because you didn't pass my my relationship time 10 years, bitch. I don't know what that's like.
I just wonder, like, and kudos to you for reaching out for help, but I just wonder how long that's a long time.
Those feelings
unfulfilled. There must be a lot of resentment by now, and so again, I think their best recourse right now would be to see if he's open to going to a sex therapist.
And just because somebody's paying all your bills, that doesn't mean you can't still speak up about your wants and needs. Because maybe he was paying all the bills and you felt like you couldn't express anything. You can. I don't know where that rule came from.
I think she already cheated.
Yeah.
All right. Pretty specific. Like,
She got him in there. He didn't see it. He was probably like, what is this? And looked so disgusted. And she was like, that's why I'm fucking the deep end.
That's why I don't know why y'all be waiting to have nasty sex. Y'all better do what you do and do it. And if he gets scared,
that's
bye.
one thing I'm not shy about.
That's me too. What is we doing?
Okay, next one. I need some advice. She is screaming. All right. First of all, love this show. I listen to it while I'm at work and my colleagues be looking like it better be funny. Anyway, I need some advice. I'm 23. Oh, and you're an accountant? Get it, girl. She's a 23-year-old accountant right here in Atlanta. I'm a Scorpio, and I'm very much single. I really want to get out there and date, but decent men in Atlanta right now are actually becoming extinct. They either will fuck you and make you think they love you and ghost, or they can't fuck and be all up under you. I recently decided to give up on men 100% because I'm tired of either waiting too long for sex with the right guy or giving it up too easy with the wrong guy. Couple of weeks ago, I started talking to this guy again because he really liked me when we hung out for the first time after meeting on Hinge. It had been a year since the Hinge date.
That's long.
Hinge is a dating
Hinge
app.
is a dating app.
I know, but I'm
where
how
we
do we jump to the year that
That's what I'm saying.
That means-
Okay, we was all confused. All right, not gonna lie, I let him eat me out on the first date. But like, he was a law student, drives a Tesla, very sweet. Why not? We're going to tell you why not later. But okay, after that, I felt like he was too put together for me because I was 22 and broke. So I cut him off. So, it's been a year since we did that, and I decided to DM him. And he agreed to go on a date with me. He picks a pizza place. Okay. We both like, and the date was amazing. Okay. I'm a student too. So we studied together back at his place, ate. He held my hand, poured us drinks, and it was very cute. We had sex that night, and one more time after he drunk called me. For some reason, he's been so distant since then. I did kind of drunk call him for sex one time a week ago, but damn, it be like that, and he literally had did it first to me. I know where this is going.
Where's it going? I'm confused,
It's going
man.
to delusion.
Oh, okay.
You're y'all are fuck buddies, but I'm gonna keep reading it because you wrote it. Yeah, during the second date, he kept telling me how he was sad that I ghosted him and all this hoopla. But when I asked him to take him on a date and how did we get here? All right, sis. She's 23. She's 23. We gotta help her while she's still shapeable.
Mm-hmm.
Dumb.
Okay, I asked to take him on a date and pay. He stood me up. I know you felt like you got mollywopped in the face. What am I not doing or seeing? Do y'all think he was just trying to get back at me to make me see what I was missing? Why do men actively vocalize their desire for a future with you just to go ghost? Did I have sex too fast? Sincerely, a bitch that's never drunk dialing again. All right, first of all, what about you left out the part where he was trying to
Start a
actively
future.
pursue a future. He drove a Tesla.
Y'all
You
went
thought
on a
the car
pizza
was
date.
futuristic, so you saw a future. His parents got a little shmoney. He don't know what a FAFSA is. He doesn't know about studentaid.gov.
And when you said you was broke, he knew you was.
He did. You are an accountant and he's in school for law because his parents made him. And he's probably not going to do that, and he's going to start YouTube rapping. So about his Tesla. And he wants to have sex just like you do. And so when you offered to pay for pizza, guess what? Somebody else came along that was better. Not better person, but they gave him a better date. They said they were taking him to steak. And he was like, I'd rather have that Then a little pizza. So sorry,
Little
girl.
Fellinis.
Nothing about this is a future.
That's what I think. A lot of times, women, that is a delusion. Like, ma'am, where did you see future?
He was horny when you called, just like you were horny when he called. And it's okay to have a fuck buddy. This can't be your fuck buddy because you already
because you want that Tesla.
deluged. And I get it, but you gonna get the Tesla, girl. You're an accountant. Do your money right. Don't be delusional with the dollars.
Don't you do it.
What would you say? Because you're a professional. That's just what I would say if this was my little sister.
It wouldn't be that much different than what you said. I'm just confused. It's a lot of, again, operating in assumption. Can we please
Yes,
stop
because what
operating
actually
in
happened.
assumption?
Yeah.
Like, look at what happened. And when he ghosted you for the pizza, I don't even know if he went and had steak. He probably went and had sex with someone else.
Yeah, he probably didn't even get that. But
That's
it was
wasn't
new
even
pussy
hungry.
and it was slapping. So that's where he went.
That is crazy. Somebody recently told me, well, nobody told me this. I saw it on Twitter. And the guy was, tell me if y'all saw this video. The guy was like, when a man really likes you, he's scared to touch you.
Never.
Where? And
Scared
why?
to touch me.
Well, no, men, I've talked to them out in the real world, and they said that it's actually true. They're hesitant to like
What?
be just like, I'm trying to smash on you right now.
Oh, wow.
Like if they really like, if they see a future with you.
Oh, if they see a future
What?
with you.
Well, touch.
Oh.
I just thought touch, like shake
Yeah, I
your
thought
hand,
you-
hug.
yeah.
Any
No,
sort of
not like
physical
that,
touch.
like-
They don't want to have
Oh.
sex with you too soon.
Not even that they'll still might
What
do
do
it,
you
but
mean?
you're gonna have to initiate it because they don't want to fuck anything up.
Yeah, they don't want to hypersexualize.
Oh,
okay.
I
thought
see,
you
I
meant
see.
touch too. Like,
Mhm.
okay.
Maybe a lot of
Now
us
I'm
have never
having a
experienced
flashback.
that.
I have. I think, yeah. I remember something. I was like, I gotta get this shit started. I mean, still wasn't a
But she
future.
was apprehensive. Because
Yeah,
he
and I was
saw
like, what the
you.
fuck is wrong with you? I
Oh,
want to
yeah,
fuck.
he put you on a pedestal and didn't want to dirty
Well, he knocked me off that pedestal.
you up. And dirtied you up.
But that was all right. Whatever.
You're like, okay.
A long time ago. Anyway, thank you guys so much for sending in those questions.
We appreciate it. Now we're gonna move on to the cocktails part of the show.
Once upon a time, not long ago, I was a hoe, was a hoe.
And we have to share OG cocktails because I couldn't find any new ones. So Kori, you have to share one. Kiki, you got to share one, and I got to share one. I'll start first. This recently happened.
I bet it did. Now let me. I'm going last because I have to drum something up.
This,
Wow.
this is funny. This was a day where I really needed to wash my hair. Y'all ever let your hair go so long that like the dandruff is like you shake your head and it's a little bit on your shoulder?
I can go 2 days and that's what it's like.
Yeah, my dandruff was really dandruffing this day, and he had the most elegant silk sheets. It was just gorgeous. You ever been to somebody's house and they're so clean and you feel dirty, even though you're not dirty, but they make you feel so dirty? This man's house was like a hotel room. It literally was like his walkway looked like a hotel. Everything was just so pristine.
Serial killer.
Oh,
That's what I was thinking.
Man,
well, after I just watched the Dahmer series, that nigga was not clean. It was smelling like
Right.
chitterlings. So everything was clean. So when I got there, I was like, dang, let me not be like, I'm messy. I'm a messy person. So I really needed to wash my hair, but like I was like containing the dandruff in my scarf. But one night the scarf had come off because we was getting a little freaky. I like him and we be touching each other. So he gets up and we had masks on because we sleep with the little face mask thing. His mask was still on. I take my mask off and y'all, I look over on the pillow. It looked like somebody took some salt and just poured the whole container of salt on the it was everywhere. It was on the pillow, it was under the pillow, it was on the bed. I'm brushing away the dandruff. He's like, what are you doing? He's about to I take the pillow. I'm like, yo, it was so embarrassing. I was like, I need to get a treatment. Let me call Joelle because I need to get a scalp treatment on my head because I should not be dandruffing on niggas' pillows. And that is my cocktail. He never saw the dandruff.
Oh, you did? You got it shook off?
I
before
shook it off. And then I put his little eye thing back on and gave him some head.
Well, I just be like, I got dermatitis. It's a medical condition.
Don't judge me.
That's good communication. Because I
have a medical condition. Are you going to shame me for that? You know, you can't shame people for medical conditions.
You can't shame people for nothing now.
Exactly. So don't be shaming me for my damn dandruff. Probably someone here.
Y'all looking like.
I got all this black. I need to start wearing white. All right. You got a cocktail?
Oh, I told you I don't have one.
You don't be having no cocktails.
I want to skip it and maybe I'll do one after you. I don't
Okay.
know.
Okay, so I'll tell y'all about this time. Okay, so I was having a little slumber party with my friend one night, right? And I don't know what happened to me. This particular week, I was having a lot of really vivid dreams. And I woke up in the middle of the night like a sex demon had taken over my soul. And I just had to have sex right then. So I was like, hey, I don't need to sleep, but hey. And he was like, what? And I was like, ooh, his breath stinks, but that's all right. So I just kind of turned his head and I was like, I'm really horny. And I just had a dream that we were having sex. Can we do it in real life? And you know what? He said, okay. And we had amazing sex. It was
a good
wonderful.
way to start it off.
Yeah, it was wonderful. And then he was still going after about 30, 40 minutes. And I was like, this was just supposed to be a little midnight snack.
You tired now?
I'm tired. My bonnet has come off. My heatless curlers are out. My hair's going to be nappy tomorrow. I have things to do. I just need you to lay back down. I had to put him back to sleep, and that was it. But he was appreciative, and I was grateful that I wasn't having to hump my warm laundry like I normally do.
Whoa, that is a weird sex for next
You don't
week.
ever leave your laundry in the thing and just hold it?
No, I don't. But I did find a cocktail for Kori to read.
Oh, okay.
Yay.
Between dandruff and demon sex, I'm like,
She's like, what am I going to say? No, I know you are a professional. If there's any words you can't say.
Oh, I say everything.
Okay, good. This is the title, and then this is the...
She's just reading.
Okay, so I'm just reading this. Okay.
Yes.
I recently heard about your podcast on the Clock app, and I'm in love.
What's that app?
I don't know. Let us know.
Okay, you all are hilarious and refreshingly candid. You can call me Angel. I'm in my 40s and have been divorced now for over 5 years. I recently entered my hoe phase. Okay, one time for the hoe phase.
That's a late hoe phase.
It's never too late for hoe phase. And I'm trying a lot of new things sexually that my husband was too vanilla. Oh, this is the other lady. Okay, too vanilla to try. I'm really enjoying this stage of my life, and I look forward to every new experience I get to enjoy. Okay, Angel. Anyway, I met this couple a few months ago, and we hit it off. I tell them I'm not looking for anything serious, and I'm not trying to change anyone's situation. I'm just looking for a good time. The husband and wife are both bisexual, and we're looking for a girlfriend to share. I've been in a few threesomes before, but they always ended with the wife-girlfriend getting jealous. Yep, that happens. Oops, I went the wrong way. Okay. This made me a bit cautious, but after texting for a bit, they came across as a cool couple. So I said, let's play together and see if we have chemistry, and we can go home from there. Ooh. We meet at 7 p.m., have a few drinks, and chat before ending up in bed by 8. Damn, they met at 7. They had time for drinks and still drove.
Y'all in the bed at 8.
That's so quick. Okay.
They old, though. They a little older.
That was a quick drive from the bar. The husband and I have great chemistry, and the sex is amazing. This thing he does with his mouth and dick should be illegal. It might be. I've never come and squirted so much in my entire life.
I know that's right.
And squirt is pee, by the way. We're all in bed together, but the wife is only watching. I crawl over to her to make out, and she says she only wants to watch. Well, you don't have to tell me twice, so the husband and I go back to sucking and fucking. We take a break to catch our breaths, and within 15 minutes, we're back at it again. She's just in the corner. He and I continue for hours. We're at it for hours, and all the while, she's just laying there watching or making little underhanded comments like, damn, you love that pussy. Or do you plan on coming up for air? Or do you plan on fucking me tonight? So she's passive-aggressive mad in the corner. Mm-hmm. He'd move over to play with her, but would be I fucking me the whole time he was fucking her. We carried on like this until about midnight when the wife says, it's getting late. Basically, like, go home. That was my cue to get the fuck out and go home. Over the next few days, the husband is texting me outside of the group chat. I ask him why and if everything's cool, and he says, yeah. The wife still wants me to be their girlfriend, but she's just not big on texting. Okay.
That's too much.
This already sounds like a lie.
Then he goes on to say they have an open marriage. Don't worry about her. Now, over the course of these next few days, he's been coming to my place, and now we're just having one-on-one sex.
He got kicked out.
The wife hasn't texted in the group chat in days. No matter how many times I directly messaged her, she's not returning her text. I shrug it off because I'm not married to her, and I'm just looking for a good time. Then out of nowhere, later, she texts in the group chat asking for a heads up to see if I want to become a full-time thing. So she
planning to murder you.
I asked what this was about, and the group chat went silent. But he texted me and said that he'll explain it later when he comes over, because they've been going at it.
That's her whole boyfriend.
Well, there was no explaining, but a lot of coming. Sometime around my fourth orgasm, this ninja said he loved me and kissed me on the forehead. She said, "Bitch, what the fuck?" I just asked, okay, and rolled my nut out. Because what was I supposed to say? I told him up front I wasn't looking for anything. Now this man's all in love.
Okay. I'm not looking for nothing.
So my question is, should I remove myself from this threesome? You're not in a threesome, ma'am.
It's two of y'all.
Before one of them ends up hurt, like you. Yeah, you're going to end up hurt from her. Or should I ride it out? Because the dick and tongue are just great.
I thought it was a cocktail. It was a cocktail / advice. Ma'am.
Well, you're not in a threesome, so that's easy.
It is. Go home.
You're married.
Kori, thank you so much for joining us. You were amazing. You gave great insight. Let everybody know where they can find you if you want them to find you. If you have anything coming up, let them know now.
Okay, well, it's HEAcounseling.com. That is our counseling website. Instagram is happily, HAPPILEE_EVR after. And I have a course coming out, relationship checkup, kind of starting on the foundation of like how to broach those subjects, how to talk about those check-ins that we need to do. You have meetings about work, so why wouldn't you have meetings with your relationship?
I love that. I think that would be a great idea for maybe new couples, old couples to join that together.
All couples. Mm-hmm. Make sure you guys are following us at CockTales Podcast. I'm at Kiki Said So.
I'm at Coffee Bean Dean.
And until next week, you guys.
Goodbye.
I'm sorry, but the person you called has a voicemail box that has not been set up yet. Goodbye. Bye. 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 Population. Goodbye. Bye. Bye. Wait on the track. Bye. 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 Goodbye. Bye. 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 Population. Goodbye. Bye. 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 Wait on the track. Wait on the track. I'm sorry, but the person you called has a voicemail box that has not been set up yet. Goodbye. Bye. 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 Population. Goodbye. Bye. Bye. Wait on the track. Bye. Bye. Bye.